Welcome back to Age of Water. Now this is a huge update that came out of nowhere, mostly because the developers are Chinese and don't really post on Steam about their future plans. I guess if they would have posted a roadmap, people could have been less angry and more people would have played, but it doesn't matter. It matters that we have more content for the game. Now, what is this storm tuning? Tuning with two ends? I don't know. So it's actually a huge rebalance of the entire game and it will make a lot of people angry, but my opinion, after playing 250 hours, these are all of the balance changes I would make to the base game anyway, with the notion that, or with the big if this would have been known from the beginning, people wouldn't have been mad. But basically, you have to redesign your entire ship all over again because it's going to get even more expensive to drive it. So let's start with the good news. New vessel for boarding rank 5, ST Octasaner, which was missing. Deck is smaller, hull is weaker, but it generates 300 energy. So now ships will have a lot more problems with energy. In Afterburner mode it has more speed. So I think the wiki will have all of these changes anyway, I hope. Also have rank 4 ships, Bulldog Trawler, Whiteout Boat. I was really missing the Whiteout Boat. Probably looks very cool. Green Hills Motor Sailor. And we also have the Charisma, Stripe Patrol and Riviera Motorboat. All of these were missing, even though we had items for them. Rank 2, the Caspian Small Trailer as multi-purpose boat. I want to see how the Ares looks like. Rank 1, Husky Launch, Nineveh boat. I think that's the one you got as a gold player, I don't know. These are all things we really needed. And also, yes, we have a new ship, rank 5 ship, that is faster in Afterburner mode, but also have new level 7 weapons, which is the minigun. Where is the Dread Reaper? I have no idea what the Dread Reaper is or how it looks like, but you have a 1% chance to get a minigun. I don't think you can install multiple miniguns. The miniguns, based on recent changes, basically a weapon will use more energy as it has longer range. So the cannons will use up most of the energy, so this will be pretty hard to use, but I like the idea of using a minigun. Miniguns were the only weapons that well, you also have the sniper rifles and some other weapons the player couldn't access, but this is a great start. Miniguns. Smoke grenade launcher. And the Scuttlefish group teleport. I'm not sure how this will work. I hope I can do the Reaper solo, Dread Reaper. Why don't they just tell me what it is? Okay, now economy and resource changes. Repair costs reduced dramatically. Resource requirements for repairing gear and weapons have been cut by tens to hundreds of times, and most items now repair using scrap iron only. Which is great, because remember how you couldn't repair a cannon because you needed cannon parts and all of the other parts? That was a huge mistake. I don't know why the developers let the game run like this for such a long time. It's like this could have been an easy fix. I mean, all of the stuff on your boat should have been repaired 10 times easier, and then people wouldn't have complained, and everyone would just have 100% of the ship working. Because one of the major problems of the game was the repair system, and most people didn't understand how it works, and most people just didn't repair anything. And I had a repair schedule or a repair setting where I didn't repair anything. It was kind of weird and annoying. Consumable cooldown added, this was needed. 45 seconds. Yeah, because you could just use damage and shields and stuff to kill enemies super fast. PvP rewards increased. All PvP events grant 3 times more medallions, and the cab limits have been raised accordingly. I think this means you could, for example, you could only get, let's say, 200, now you can get a max of 600 from an event, which is huge, because now you actually have a reason to do the PvP events, because before there was not much of a reason. Good luck doing the PvP events. I think there are players that have 1000 hours into the game and they'll be much stronger than me. And this is the part of the game that most people will be sad about, rebalance energy consumption. You can no longer have energy for everything. You have to switch it between firepower, speed and survivability. Survivability, I'm not sure what they mean by this, but I think they probably mean more stuff on your boat, more or less. So the longer a weapon's range, the higher its energy cost. Remove the deck pump limit, so now survivability means you can have more pumps on the deck. I guess that means you can probably put, let's say, 3 or 4 pump decks on your ship and you can only be destroyed if if you get maybe 10 holes in your ship, which is hard. I like these changes. Wind turbines can be crafted at base. Oh, it's not that important. Wind turbines are only tier 1 or generators, so it doesn't really matter. But I guess it's better for newer players. They also changed cargo loss mechanic after defeat. So when your ship sinks, the contents of your hull no longer drops, but you will only respawn at 3 wells. Okay. By default, you respawn at 3 wells, no longer near the place you died. So this might be a good thing or a bad thing, depends on how you view things. I agree with this one. This one should have been in the game from the start, so death actually means something, but it's not tedious anymore. You don't lose anything, but you have to go back to the area you died or teleport there. Adjusted weapon parameters. Shotgun, grenade launchers, machine guns have been substantially buffed to keep pace with cannons and rockets. So basically what they did is they added multipliers to all weapons, or they actually reduced some of the weapon stats, more or less. Because not only did they increase the power needed to use the weapons, they also buffed some of their stats, but they also nerfed some of them, and we'll speak about them in a bit. Grenade launcher now detonates on contact with water. I think it could blow up sooner or something, I don't know, I never used them. Note, only the base stats of all weapons have been changed. Unique multipliers remain intact. So this means if your cannon... Yeah, I don't understand when you read it like that, but you'll understand once we go through the change log. So look at how the cannons change. This will be a major thing. They have a lot more durability. They have double the damage. They have a lot more splash damage. The reload speed is doubled, which means the cannons fire 2 times slower, but they have 2 times the damage and 5 times the splash. And you may be thinking, well, it's okay until this point, yes. But they also reduce the rotation speed to a third of what it usually was. So that means you deal double damage, you reload them twice as slow, and you also have to be careful about the rotation speed, because no longer can you just aim at anything near you, and they also double the energy per shot. So that means 160 energy. Let's say you have 10 cannons, that's 1600 energy, and energy consumption is much bigger, meaning they went from -11 to -72. So good luck producing enough power to even support them on the ship, much less store the energy in batteries. We'll speak about the batteries later. So it's going to be much harder if you miss. Misses are costlier. I guess they didn't improve 3DS, doesn't matter. Rotation speed was also reduced to curb ranged weapon dominance at close quarter, because the cannon was a make all break all weapon, but everyone used the cannon, sadly, so probably around 90% of the players use cannons. And maybe 2% used the other ones. So yeah, now machine guns are a lot more viable, and to be honest, if I had a choice, I think I would use the machine guns right now, or the rocket launchers, or... Yeah, I think I would have used the rocket launcher, since they're... No, I think I would have used the machine guns. Fast, speedy machine gun boat would have been very fun. As for the rocket launchers, as you can see, they have the same amount of durability, but the energy per shot is vastly increased. For cannon, the energy per shot was doubled, but for rocket launchers it was quadrupled, 4 times more. So this means the rockets, which were the best weapons in the game, because the cannons, well, more or less in the same line as the cannons, but the rocket launchers were better than the cannons if you could get the cannons up to tier 6. Now the rocket launchers are much more energy intensive than even the cannons. So sorry about that, I guess people with rocket launchers will be very unhappy. On the other hand, it allows people to have multiple types of weapons on their boat right now, because you have, let's say, rocket launchers for long range encounters, and then machine guns for medium range to short range encounters. So yeah, it's going to be very costly to shoot the rocket launchers, and if you want to be a missile platform, you will be a missile platform like in real life, very slow to shoot, but high damage. Okay, grenade launcher, 7 times more durability, because this was needed, since you needed to go basically in melee range to use a grenade launcher. Actually, grenade launcher is kind of a mid-range weapon, same as the machine gun. Damage was increased 6 times, which means the grenade launcher is in the same line as the... how should I put this? Let's say it another way. So the grenade launcher has a ton more damage to be in line with the rocket launcher, but you can fire more, you miss less, and so on. Splash damage was also increased 6 times, so that means if you look at the splash damage of the cannons, 300 range versus 100. Yeah, that's 4 times the range. So that means the grenade launchers, they explode when they touch the water. That means you basically need to fire in the general direction of your enemy and you'll be fine. But the rate of fire was reduced to 6 shots to 2 shots per second. So that means, yeah, don't just look at the damage and the splash radius, just look at how slow they fire right now. And the projectile speed was also doubled because they fire super slow. And the range was also increased by a lot. And the dispersion was reduced. But the reload speed was also increased 4 times. And the ammo capacity was reduced. And you also use energy per shot right now, which didn't happen before. But you don't use as much energy consumption as the other weapons. So, as you can see, the grenade launcher is basically what it's supposed to be. It launches grenades and it has a huge area of effect, which is great for dealing with multiple ships and some other stuff. As you can see, the weapons have become super specialized and super fun to use, if you don't mind, you know, giving up all of that power. Very good choice, very good changes. Now let's see the machine gun. A lot more durability, basically the most durable weapon in the game right now. Because they needed it, let's face it, the machine gun needed sustained fire. You have 3 times the amount of damage. The rotation speed was also reduced, but not by the same amount as the cannons, but it's still noticeable. Also, the energy per shot was reduced, energy consumption was increased a lot as well. So this basically means the machine guns will be the only weapons you can actually fire sustained, but also pretty hard to use as well, so it depends on how you view things. The machine gun is basically the most balanced weapon right now, and you're going to need a few machine guns. Flak cannon. Flak cannons, as you can see, have a lot more health as the other weapons. But double damage, lower ammo capacity. Rotation speed was also cut in half. Reload speed was doubled as well. Energy consumption was also increased, but this basically means the flak cannon, as you can see, every weapon has their different personalities right now, which I find it very good. The flak cannon is basically a melee range weapon almost, and is the only way. The flak cannons will probably do the most amount of DPS right now if you are close to an enemy, which means if you just get close to a cannon ship, you can just fire at it and it will not be able to do much to you. Kind of like all of these changes, they actually make multiple weapons on the ship viable in a way. Okay, let's look at the skills. Drill. So you no longer get such a big bonus to reloading, so don't just look at how slow the reload speed is for the weapons, think about you losing your drill as well. So that means basically the cannons will shoot 120% slower or something like that if you add in the bonus from the bonus you lost from the drill skill. They increase the effectiveness of the alter ego metal hull specialist. Nobody really used the metal hulls. I think it's 60% more HP, but think about it, the metal hulls are super slow, so if you want to be a gunboat, now you have the chance to be a gunboat. If you want to be a speedy boat, you have to use wood or plastic. Well balanced stats for all rank 3, 4 and 5 ships. There's no best vessel at each tier. You'll have to choose between speed, HP, size, and deck size. Which means a couple of things. So this is much better explained right now. If you choose a ship, you will have to choose between, let's say, a fast machine gun ship or a slow missile boat, or just a huge hulking piece of metal on the water to move very slow, does not have a lot of firepower, maybe the grenade launchers, or maybe a few cannons, but has a lot of HP, and that's kind of it. So no longer can you have the best boat. I'm not sure what to say about this. I think many people will be upset about this change because it changes the game in such a way that if the game was released with these balance changes, people would have cheered. It would have been the best indie game, the best vehicle game of the decade, maybe. But since it's so late, I'm not sure how people react. I'm not sure how I will react. I mean, when I enter the game now, I'll see my boat. I will probably see I need to shave off 600 weight or whatever. 600 tons of the weight or something crazy like that, and will not have enough power for anything anyway. Overhaul hull material balance. The whole material now applies not only to the shipbuilding engine but to all installed motors. Metal hulls are tougher overall. So yeah, metal actually matters right now, in a way. And the speed modifiers will apply to all of the engines, because if you had, let's say, a plastic hull, I think this means the bonus of the speed would only apply to the base engine. So basically, if you have a plastic hull right now, it will apply to all of the other modifiers. So in order to have a fast boat, if you make it out of plastic, it will be much faster. Yeah, this is going to be a little harder to explain and to show, because nobody really used anything else but wood or metal. Reverse thrust power is increased, so basically you can reverse thrust much faster. And let's see how they change the boats. The speed of the grasp tugboat, which was rank 5, was decreased by 15. Oh, that hurts so much. Less capacity. A hull mass. I think mass was only useful for pushing, pulling, or some other stuff. Hull strength was also doubled. So the grasp tugboat is slower, but tankier. Torpedo boat Midori, much slower as well, but not as slow as the grasp. As you can see, it was reduced from 50 to 35. Basically, the developers want you to choose between speed, firepower, survivability, and a lot of other stuff. And I guess it has lower displacement as well. Hull strength is better. No, but its fixed built-in engine power is weaker. That's bad. The Bordeaux gunboat, which was a fan favorite, I guess they should show the squares on the boat as well. This is not very clear because you have to look at the wiki. It doesn't show you how many slots it has on the deck. So if it has a low deck slot number, that means it's smaller and faster. So the speed is 45, so I guess this makes it the fastest rank 5. It has more hull mass, which is great. Displacement is bigger. Hull strength is also better. So I guess the Bordeaux is better now, but it barely has room to fit, let's say, 4 or 5 weapons, if I remember correctly. The Glare rocket boat, which I think it was the smallest one, has more speed, so 55 speed. So yeah, the choice is clear right now, but I think it had harder to put stuff on the boat because it had indentation, so yeah. Brawler torpedo boat, it's actually faster, which is great because nobody really used the Brawler rank 4. Everyone just went from rank 3 to rank 5. I like using the rank 4 as well. I use the Brawler and it's pretty good. They increase the displacement as well, but they lower the hull strength. Oh, that's going to hurt a lot. So it's so puny right now. Bastion boat, a little bit of a bonus to HP. Anchovy, people, you love to use the Anchovy. Anchovy Trawler is probably the most used ship in the game currently and always will be. Hull strength, so a little bit of hull strength and more displacement, but no changes to the speed. So I guess, to be honest, the Anchovy Trawler, the rank 4 boat, is probably the best boat in the game overall because it didn't get nerfed. Morena has more hull strength, which is really needed. It's very hard to play with a Morena. It's very long and thin. And more displacement, which is great. I think this displacement is the weight. Yeah, capacity. The Vigilant was also reduced from 60 speed to 55. I guess it's not such a big nerf to the Vigilant. Still as useful as ever, and it's probably going to be the best boat to do missions in. If you want to do missions, do it with the Vigilant. Well, except for the final bosses and the final combat. Limousine, never saw it, but it seems like it's super low. But I guess they balanced it out by giving a lot of power output. So having 120 power output just alone is very good. I guess you'll be choosing between speed and just a lot of extra power. Shamrock Trawler, which nobody used, was buffed. Good. And the Walrus Tugboat, which also nobody really used, but I used it a lot, has more hull strength. That's great because it felt like a tank, so it is a tank now. Horizon, rank 3. I guess the Horizon is the biggest displacement. Interesting. Hull material changes. What did how all volume on hull material? So every engine is affected by the hull material. So basically, you'll get bonuses or debuffs to the engine speed if you use metal or plastic. Wood is still neutral. Probably most people will use wood. Oh. But yeah, you can carry less with plastic, but you have 20% movement speed. So I guess you'll see a lot more plastic boats that will do missions, especially the bigger ships with plastic will be good. Oh, metal is not as bad as it used to be, so the mass penalty is 15, but the speed penalty is minus. It will be a huge difference between plastic and metal when it comes to speed. But I guess it will be easier to accelerate. Meh. Okay, changes to generators, batteries, and structural modules. Rebalanced everything. The real free storage cabin has been updated. I don't know how that looks. Tier 4 and Tier 5 wheelhouses gain additional attachment points. You can only install one wheelhouse per ship, which is kind of silly, but I'm one of those people who used a lot of wheelhouses because the wheelhouses had the biggest amount of HP, could be fitted very easily on your ship, and were very easy to repair. So they were basically armor for your ship, and a lot of people use them as armor, including me. So that's kind of annoying that you can only have one. I guess they were all... I couldn't fit them on the ship anyway because of these changes. Also, another big change is they reduced the battery capacities for tier 2 to 4. Nobody, listen to me, nobody had tier 5 batteries because they're super costly to make and they're also pretty big. So the tier 1 batteries are reduced 3 times to their capacity. The medium batteries are also reduced almost 4 times in their capacity. So good luck playing the game without tier 3 or 4. Wow. These are huge nerfs. High capacity battery, which is a tier 3, was reduced by... ouch. Almost 5 times. The tier 4 battery was reduced by 3 times. Oh wow, it's going to be super. Not only will you use more power, you have less storage capacity for the power. So batteries, most people will be upset about this as well. But the capacity bonus from structural models now apply to all batteries on deck, not only those installed inside structures. I didn't know what the bonus only applied to those installed inside structures. This is better. So in a way, you will need to put more bonus stuff on the ship. Stuff can be rotated, meh. Pumps and engine. So the energy consumption has been increased, so the electric pump will use 10 times more power. Again, this is not very important. High speed propulsion will cost more energy. This is important. Basically because the pumps, nobody really used them, and I guess if you use them now, they'll use a lot more power. So you cannot repair, fast drive, and shoot your guns at the same time. Unless it's a much smaller boat. So as you can see, the developers made it possible for multiple classes of boats to be usable at any point. So you can have a very small ship with a huge amount of firepower just be unkillable right now. Gigantic engine. I don't think I have the gigantic engine. Probably tier 5. So engines will consume 10 times more power and their max speed is increased as well. But you can see the energy consumption during boosts will be super high. So 4 times more engine boost, but you get more max speed, but you cannot use it. So basically you'll go a lot slower. I'll not go through all of these changes because it's very clear what they did over here. Funnels and air intakes, more durability and more power output, which is just a big buff, I think, to all of them. Except for the medium funnel, which everyone used. They use more power now, rats. Other changes. Base, blah blah blah, medallion for... Attack on caravans. So this was buffed tremendously, as you can see. So player reward player cap. So you can get 150,000 medallions, 3 times more rewards. This is a lot more assist reward. So 2 attack on caravans, 2 mangrove pulse. This is... oh yeah. Treasure rush. I forgot what that does. Anyway. You can explore islands on foot. I can study their inhabitants and find useful items. I'm interested in this one. You can also get more decorative models In walking mode, interesting. So you have to walk on all of the possible islands. Okay, stability. Use for rank 1 and 2, that's nice. Cargo hold capacity in the boat when in base takes. Okay, that's a huge bug that is finally fixed, I guess. Icon for launching a shield tier 6. I don't think I saw that. Oh boy, this will be so hard. I don't think we can even move our ship because we are at max capacity. I guess you can compare my current boat to what it was in my previous video. Boy, Captain. Well, it's still working. Are you joking me? So basically I'm not suffering at all with the new changes. I guess we have to increase the hull capacity and the energy generation is not that good. But the hull energy capacity, it might be more useful now. And I'll have to look at some of the other stuff. So we have 226 power generation. And we can shoot all of the cannons. Okay, I guess... Oh, but we're super slow now. I guess we are 40... The ship had about 100 speed last time I remember. Or maybe 80. Maybe it was 70 or 80. Look at how fast the battery gens when I use that. To be honest, I cannot be too upset. It seems like I can use my boat without any issues. So see, everything repairs now with iron scrap. Iron scrap, plastic scrap. Yeah, they no longer repair with plates. So if you dismantle them, you actually get the plates. This is a very good change because if you find, let's say, a good item, you can disassemble it for a lot of rewards, for a lot of loot. If you want to keep it, you can just repair it super easy. I like this a lot. I like it a lot, okay. Not much to complain about. Why do you have extra cannons on me? Oof. 3, 6, 8. Oh. Are they uninstalled? Oh. Do I have the torpedo boat Midori? Guess they might have unequipped some of the cannons. Wait, how much energy does this thing use? They installed two of my cannons. Oh, okay, no. I guess my ship uses... Okay, so that was just a mistake. I guess my ship is barely creating anything right now. Yeah, well, I guess if you're entering the game, don't remove anything or you'll be in a lot of trouble if you try to remove anything or if you try to add anything to it. What did I remove? What was there? Oh well. Let's add that back. Let's also add the stuff over here. Now the bonuses are actually important. Because the bonuses apply to everything on the ship. This is interesting. Well, I guess I removed them by mistake. Why do I have... I don't remember why. I don't remember a lot of things about the game. cannons do feel stronger, I'll give it that. Yeah. So I guess it was a mistake, I couldn't use all of my cannons, so I'll have to redesign the boat. Okay, I guess I was happy for nothing, because that was just a bug and we'll have to remove a lot of the stuff that is on our ship. I'll have to redesign it, and it will take a huge amount of time, especially do I want to remove the extra stuff? Not really. I guess the problem is my power generation, which is kind of small. So what is... oh wow. 120 power, that's how much power those things are eating. These things are giving me power. I guess you just need to make better power providers. But cabin base. I guess I also need to put all of the guns on these things, because then even the cannons will have more rotation speed, and I think that's reload speed, or no, I'm not sure. I guess that's range. No, that's for guns only, but what? I mean guns and machine guns. This cannon get rotation speed and range. 160 power for the huge motor. Oh, rats. I'm using 1000 power, mostly because of the engine. I guess I'll have to remove some of the extra engines and put more power on it. It will take a while until I get used to all of this. Wait, what is that? Oh, this is great. Okay, let's see how this works. Oh, wow. We can find stuff on all locations right now. Okay, let's search and see if we can find anything unique. So does all of this restore after a while? To be honest, I like it a lot more. I like it a lot. Exploring the wells like this is just amazing. This is a huge change. I'm not sure how to think a well is great for once, but I'm not sure how to... Why couldn't this... Why is this not the game from the beginning? Okay, now I'm very, very curious, because I might find unique items like this. Oh, wow. They did so much good work with the game. I cannot believe it. This is the same game as it was released. So probably people will be upset about certain things, but something is shiny here. I guess we're searching all of the trash cans. And it's actually giving me good items, consumables. Trading, does it give you anything interesting? Yeah, I guess it's left to work on trading. Okay, I'm actually impressed by this. So I assume this means we'll have to search all faraway locations in hopes of finding something cool or unique.
I'm John Johnson, Sheriff. You and I have known each other a long time. Great. If you hear any rumors, you fact. I'm John Johnson, Sheriff. Come back. I'm John Johnson.
No change over there. Look at this. This is so cool. I'm looking at my ship. This is great. Well, I guess I have a lot of work for the game. If you want to see more of the game, let me know. Bye bye.